listening to Flush Your Fat for Good with Jackie and Dr. Vicky, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Jackie Paget Baird.
And I'm Dr. Vicky Arcady.
And we are the co-creators of Flush Your Fat for Good, Be Lean and Healthy for Life. And just to let you know, this is not a diet. I know some people are still talking to us from time to time because they haven't read our book or checked out our website. And they go, so what does your diet include? Or, when I'm on a diet, and everybody has to understand this is not a diet. This is a lifestyle. This is how you choose to live your life, feed yourself a certain way based on biochemistry and physiology. Mm-hmm. And when you feed yourself based on biochemistry and physiology, that's not a variable. That's an absolute. So if you feed yourself according to the way God made your body, what is it in your mind thinking, well, now I'm going to change?
Right.
Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. I mean, when you're ready, you're going to be ready, and you can't go back,
But you got to use the common sense, which isn't so common anymore, because everybody's thinking, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to try this. Well,
I'm going to try
just
this
play with
diet, I'm going to try that diet.
I'm going to starve and fast. The problem is they don't understand the harm that they're doing to themselves. And if you want to sleep deeper, think sharper, have better moods, okay, and everybody's in a bad mood lately, to digest, absorb, and eliminate at optimal level. When you meet people or people, I'm sure you haven't had long, lengthy conversations about their bowel movements. It's probably not part of your relationship, but the majority...
Really? It's a requirement for me. No, just kidding.
Find me a guy and we're going to talk about...
I need to know if you have bowel movements.
And if you're Italian, we have to talk about poop.
It's a diagnostic tool, so I don't have work to do.
Right.
Low maintenance.
But whoever you talk to or meet or know, most of the time, I'm sure you haven't checked out how their bathroom habits are. Mm-mm. However, that's the pipes of life. So with Flush Your Fat for Good, yes, you're flushing your fat for good. The adipose tissue you don't want and the visceral fat surrounding your organs that are suffocating them. In the long run, they can suffocate your heart and kill you. But to flush your fat for good is to be lean and healthy for life.
Right.
And therefore, you got to make up your mind, especially now the holidays are coming. We've got Halloween,
Thanksgiving.
Halloween, Thanksgiving.
There's Hanukkah in there.
Hanukkah, Christmas, and then of
New
course,
Year's.
Everybody's going to make their New Year's resolution. But if you're smart, you're going to do what these people did. And we're going to show you some before and after pictures. Every once in a while, we want to start our podcast out showing you guys before and after pictures. So our esteemed engineer, Samuel, is going to show us the first young lady. I believe this is Laura Harmon.
And these are pictures that we see from time to time from our buddies in our Flush Your Fat for Good buddies Facebook room.
Right.
Which is very private, very safe. And if you'd like to join and see what's going on in there, there's questions I'd like you to answer. And then Jackie or I or one of the administrators will let you in.
But it's great fun because we wake up in the morning, go over to the website, and we see these before and after.
Yeah.
This gentleman, the picture of the gentleman is named Gary, and he had just started, and everybody kept telling him, wow, you look so good.
Yeah.
He had no idea. So he had these pictures taken of just his face. Mm-hmm. And so everything else started changing. And he's doing well, and I believe he had blood sugar irregularities.
How long was that?
That wasn't, I don't know.
It was soon. It was like 2 weeks or something?
Yeah, or a month, something like that.
You can see that you get results quickly.
The other picture is of a woman, and I'm sorry, I don't know her name, but she's holding up her jeans. Large pants, and all of a sudden that's what she was wearing.
You know, she was one of our original buddies like 5 years ago, And I think. And then she was very active in the room and on the calls and stuff. And then suddenly we didn't hear much from her.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing we know, she puts her pictures up and says, I've been doing this for 2 years or whatever. And she says, here's my old pants and here's my new pants. And these are the kind of stories we're getting.
This is life-changing.
Yes,
We're
yes.
not doing 30, 60, 90 day. We're doing
Right.
for life, okay? So you never have to struggle again.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how to feed yourself according to biochemistry and physiology. The next young girl is Norma. We're extremely proud of Norma. We have
Norma.
young, we have old, we have middle age. We've got some 12-year-olds, but Norma,
She is a champion. I think she's an IT person, so sitting all the time, and she really smart. But she began to run where she couldn't, do the activities, athletic activities. She started running 5Ks, I think, and she was doing very well with that after she lost the weight and the fat that she needed losing. You gain lean muscle mass, so she was able to
right.
run a 5K. She couldn't believe it.
And she's young. I mean, we have people that in their 80s, they're
that's the
saying,
thing.
I wish I knew this 30, 40 years ago.
But the young are having issues with fat.
Right.
And they're not able to feel good, and they're not able to do the things that people their age should be doing. They should be very active.
No, it's getting bad, and it's getting
No
worldwide. That's
yeah.
why it's called global globesity.
Depression, no energy, all these terrible things.
This next gal is Rachel. Very, very proud of Rachel. And she is, obviously, you can see in a very short period of time, I think this was about 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
Yeah, and she's still going strong because her goal
Yes.
is she's engaged, she's going to be married, and she wants a baby. And she knows that the best chances for her, as I told her, I said, villages will not let their people get married unless the chief of the tribe says, okay, they've done a year of health classes to make sure they're healthy to get married. Then they have to do another year of health classes in order to have a baby. Why? This is to assure the longevity of the tribe. Well, we live in cities and different parts of the country. We don't have villages and we don't have tribes. But it makes perfect sense for the longevity of the tribe because they don't want to go extinct. And yet people, when they feed themselves, the way they're feeding themselves, they are going extinct. They're not doing very well with their health.
They're not getting good replication of the DNA. And isn't her fiance, is he her husband now?
No,
He's a fiance?
yeah.
Isn't he on phase 2 now?
Yes,
He
and
started phase 2. He's perfect weight and he looks great. But we have phase 1 for the rapid fat loss and phase 2, which is the lifestyle.
So we have on our Did You Know That segment today, we're going to talk about, did you know we have a coaching course? And it is not just your typical kind of course, anything we do is not your typical, okay? Because we're not typical. God made man, woman, and us. So the thing is, we have a coaching course that is not just to make you a coach, say that 3 times fast.
Right.
A coach. You can learn all this knowledge and be able to feel confident in coaching people. And this is for people that want to go into the health and wellness industry or are in the health and wellness industry and need extra knowledge to give themselves confidence, because we have RNs, we have doctors, we have naturopaths, we have all different kinds of people involved in Flush Your Fat for Good. They take the coaching course because they know they either weren't taught some of this or they forgot some of this.
And, people take it too because once they get the results, they're like, why is this working? I'm eating, I'm not depriving myself. Why do I not have sugar cravings anymore? What is going on here? I'm not even affected by that sugar tray over there, the dessert tray. What is the deal here? So these are the people. Our Kathleen Powell was one of them who lost, she's a co-author of ours. She lost over like 100 pounds and has kept it off. And this is why she got involved with us, because she says, I want to know why this is working. And then she says, you guys have to write a book. And then We wrote the book.
She knew we wanted to write a book, and it was like, when are you going to get that book written? So then she said, I'm going to take a stab at it. So she helped us to format it and get our content in there. But we want to tell you a little about the coaching course that we have, and that there's 7 pillars.
Do you want me to do that?
Go ahead.
Okay.
This is real quick, and we're just going to piecemeal it, and then we're going to talk about the 3 coaches we have now.
Okay, so we have 7 modules. This is all online, so it's at your own time. We give you a time frame of 3 months to complete the course, and it's really, it could take you longer. It depends on, you can stop and start, so that's good too, because if this is new material to you, then you'll be able to understand it. But we have 7 modules. Module 1 is our pillar number 1, which is nutritional ketosis and the dangers of being over fat. So nutritional ketosis is not the ketogenic diet. It's not ketosis.
No.
It's not that. We do not have our people checking their pH and all that stuff for ketones.
The Brady list.
We don't have that. So
I just heard somebody
talking.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the Eskimos.
I think
Because the Eskimos get into nutritional ketosis.
I think it's my phone doing funny things.
Okay,
never
that
mind.
figures. Okay, just kidding. Okay, so nutritional ketosis is, anyway, we talk in depth about it and the benefits and how it is not ketosis, because ketosis, when you go on a diet that gets you into ketosis, it's very risky. You have to really monitor yourself. That diet was done originally, I believe, in the 20s to help regulate and to prevent the epileptic seizures. And when I was in practice, even in my early years, I was a pediatric and pregnancy specialist, and that was my specialty. I was a diplomate. And there were kids who had seizures that were on ketogenic diet, and it was a lot of work. That poor mother, she was measuring, she looked like a chemist. It was a real hard job for her, and you have to keep going back to the doctor. So it's not just something you should do on your own, in my opinion. It can really do some damage. But nutritional ketosis, in a nutshell, it eliminates the starches, and it turns on your body to burn fat instead of the food for fuel. And then we have the dangers of being overfat in this. You want to say something about that?
Well,
we did a whole podcast on this, I think.
Right.
On both of these. So you can find individual podcasts.
Well, the entire thing talks about, Module 1 talks about the dangers of being over fat.
Right.
For example, 20 pounds over fat is a danger because you're linked to about 20 health conditions. So that's just an example.
Yep.
But that's Module 1, and you learn an awful lot, and you take that with you.
And the information in these modules are not on the podcasts. I mean, we go in depth. It's specific stuff, okay? So obviously, it's a coaching course. So anyway, Module 2 is pillar number 2. We have 8 pillars. So pillar number 2 is food combining. Very important. This focuses on digestion, absorption, and elimination, and it helps you to take the burden off your digestive tract and optimize it so that you digest better. By the way, when you eat, what you eat, and combinations of what you eat to know how to do that properly. Module number 3.
Well, let me say something about Module 2. There are a couple of food combining was introduced in the 1850s, and then it came to people's attention in the early 1900s, and then in 1950 by Herbert Shelton. You can find out different things about food combining and get books, but I believe we're the first to really incorporate it into a lifestyle health program.
Yes.
And we have modified it for compliance, how we have established food combining so that it's easy and understandable, so that you can go anywhere to a restaurant, be it a steakhouse, sushi, be it, whatever.
Coffee shop.
Coffee
Anywhere.
shop, any
Anywhere.
place that you go.
Uh-huh.
If you understand the concept of food combining and you understand the importance of food combining, this is why we say it's based on biochemistry and physiology. If you get our book, Flush Your Fat for Good, on Amazon.com, or you can get it on our website in the store, flushyourfatforgood.com, you're going to learn about food combining and the extreme importance of it. And so many people have become negligent on understanding it. And it's one of the biggest issues we see with digestion, absorption, and elimination.
If there was ever a takeaway from our lifestyle, I would choose that one to take away, because in phase 2 you may not be in nutritional ketosis, but in phase 2, from now on forever, you have to keep. I always tell people, just keep food combining.
Yep.
It's so important.
Okay.
All right. Next
pillar
is
number 3.
Pillar number 3 is nutrifying, and actually it's pillar number 4, module number 3.
Right.
Okay. Nutrifying, and this is one of our pillars, pillar number 4. And nutrifying just means that, when you're eliminating foods from your diet for a short time or even long term, the Eskimos eat this way without their starch and sugars for thousands of years. I mean, this is how they live, and they're wonderful. But if you're going to eliminate certain foods and you're stressed from your work, there's other factors, there's toxins, there's other things that are going on, and then you're really losing the fat very rapidly. There's going to be like a traffic jam in your liver or in your bowel, and you're going to have to make sure that the cells are working. And the cells are doing all their jobs. They're they're cleaning, they're repairing, they're doing everything that their job is. And the only way to support those cells, each individual cell, is to nutrify, to make sure that you're getting the nutrients that are missing in your diet. Number one, for everyone. There are nutrients that are missing for everyone in their diet. We just don't have them in the food chain anymore. Such as glyconutrients, which you'll learn about that.
And phytosterols.
Right.
You don't have a lot of
Right.
those.
So those are new terms for a lot of people and new in nutrition for a lot of people.
So that's.
But nutrifying is extremely important because we've seen those that didn't want to follow our advice and recommendation with nutrifying, and they ended up having to do it anyway because you reach a point where it's so fast and your body's working so well and it's trying to eliminate. You got to help your cells eliminate and cleanse.
Yeah, and not only that, but you want to eat foods that are going to digest and absorb those nutrients to build, repair, and maintain the integrity of your bone, blood, tissue, organs, hormones. But no matter how well you eat, you're still not going to get what's missing in the foods. Period. End of story.
Right.
Unless you're 22 years old living in the Fiji Islands. And that's a whole nother story. So that is module 3, pillar number 4, nutrifying, which, by the way, is in the dictionary. It's a real word.
Module number 4 is pillar number 7, which you should be very impressed because we included exercise and sleep, module 7. I think what we did here was cover all the bases in this book.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think we left anything out as far as lifestyle. Nothing.
That's why it's based on biochemistry and physiology.
Right. But exercise and sleep is extremely important. You want to get healthier, and you want to lose fat and build your muscle and your bone density and improve your health. But how do you do that if you don't exercise? If you're a slug, you're sitting at work all day, which they claim that it's passing above a smoker as far as being a risk for early death and cancer.
Plus, it has a lot to do with your metabolism.
Right. So you want to exercise, and we show you a way to do that. And then sleep.
Sleep is. As soon as I saw the study on rats and
Oh boy,
that did it for me, man. Because I used to have rats as pets, So I'm always interested.
I used them at UCLA for.
I don't want to hear that.
The albino. They loved it.
Did you torture them?
No, we put a electrode in their brain to the pleasure center,
Oh.
and we had them. Who knew that I would be? Anyway, we put them in their cage, and we pet them every day. We took good care, and we had a bar that you press for food. You get a little tablet out, if they learn to press the bar for food.
Right.
So they learn to do that. We put the electrode in, and when they press the bar, it gets a shock to the pleasure center of the brain. Pleasure center. Those poor rats were starving to death because they were like.
They were hitting it.
They were hitting it. They didn't care about the food.
Right.
And so we had to take it out, remove the
Yeah,
wire
and
let
let 'em
them
eat a little.
eat so we
Yeah.
could have something to experiment with. But it
Well-
was good for them. They loved it.
Well, for the sleep study, they took 3 different groups of rats, and I'll just make this quick. And with one of them, they allowed them to have at least 8 hours of downtime, dark time, and then the other group was all light, no dark time at all.
Oh, man, like Alaska.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then the other one
that's bad.
had different time sets as well. The ones that did not have the straight 7 to 8 hours are the ones that were heavier. They were not happy. They were grumpy. They were confused. The ones that had the 7 to 8 hours, they were lean and healthy.
There you go. You have to have
Sleep
sleep.
is essential.
You have to have sleep.
So that's
good
our
sleep. And if
okay.
you don't get usually most people, that's one of the things they talk about in our lifestyle. They get good sleep.
Yeah.
But you're going to learn all the good stuff about sleep. Module number 5 is troubleshooting. And this, if you're going to be troubleshooting yourself, it's very good for yourself because you learn, knowledge is power. So you learn about what to look for, if you think something's going on with yourself. Or if you're planning to be a coach, you want to coach some people or help some
Or
people
you've
out.
got a husband that's just a pain in the
Yeah.
butt, and you got to just really figure out what you can do for him, because he's like, well, I'll eat some of that, but it's Saturday, So the troubleshooting's good. Module 6,
Module 6 is why diets don't work.
100%.
Well,
And anytime somebody tells you,
Yeah.
oh, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm looking at this, no, I'm looking at that. Really? How about you just look at how your body was made and designed to be fed appropriately? Like a Ferrari, right? A brand new, beautiful Ferrari. And you're just going to figure out maybe they don't know what kind of gas to put into that car. You think you'll just do 87 octane like it's really good for a VW
low
van?
test, yeah, low octane.
No, I mean,
you're not going to do that.
If you would put gas into a Ferrari, the same kind of gas you put into a VW van, you have no business owning that Ferrari.
Correct.
Same thing with your body. Understand why diets don't work. They just don't. I mean, the first 3 letters in the word diet is what?
Die.
Hello.
And we're the only species that does that. Goes
Yes.
on a temporary diet with that, don't eat what we're supposed to eat, and then eat something stupid like, a cabbage diet or something.
Not every time you
it's
say
like-
that, I'm always thinking
It's
of
so funny. I mean, it's so true.
No, I
we're
know.
the only species who goes on temporary diets.
Last week when you said that, I was thinking, yeah, my lizards, they just don't say, yeah, I'm going to cut back on the mealworms. They
I'm going to
just
go vegan today. For Jackie, owner, I'm going to go vegan, so only feed me vegan food.
doesn't
They would
make
die,
sense. Yeah.
actually. They would probably die. Okay, the last module number 7, is paradigm shift. And we talk a lot about that in this book because as you go through and learn all these things that we teach you about why you're eating certain things, what it does for you, learning about your body, learning how to eat, when to eat, what combination to eat, what not to eat together, things change. You're going to be a whole different person. You're going to be like a caterpillar that turns into a butterfly. And a lot of times what happens is you have a distorted image of yourself as being way over, 20, 30, 100 pounds overweight. And even when you lose that weight and you've reached your goal and you're a new person, or even if you reach most of your goal, the weight, what happens is you still see yourself as large in the mirror. And you know who else does that is anorexics, the other end of the scale.
It's
Those-
body dysmorphia. And
Yeah.
the problem is,
Right. Distorted body image, I think we called it.
yeah.
DBI.
Yeah, and the thing that happens is that your brain takes a picture of what you really look like,
Right.
and then your body changes, and your eyes see that you're leaner, but your brain transmits that old picture.
So you have
And
to
that requires a lot of work.
you have to make a shift.
Yeah, the
And-
paradigm shift.
And it's repetition, and we should tell you all about how to make
And
that
another
happen.
thing is it's about your self-confidence. It's about if
Yes.
somebody gives you a compliment, can you say, wow, thank you,
Thank
I'm
you.
working on it.
Yeah.
Or some people
Or-
are just so ashamed of themselves that they need to get that out first to let them know
Or
that they can.
I haven't lost that much,
Right.
really. You know, just say thank you.
So module 7, I think, is extremely
Oh,
important.
it's-
Whether
it's
you
the key.
have 10 pounds to lose or you have 100 pounds to lose, because a lot of people, they wind up with their attitude that I'm just going to go 5 days a week eating good, and then I'm going to binge on the weekend. And this is a kind of thinking that you're afraid to do without sugar,
Yeah.
afraid to do without certain things. And once you take control of your life in a certain way, that's the paradigm shift.
The other factor is, you know, the worthlessness that you have, like you said, the sadness, the you know, you just feel hopeless. You know, that has to all shift too.
But in the book, we talk about it. And,
and in
so
our
to
coaching
take
course,
the coaching course,
it's really big in there.
and we have 3 senior certified coaches right now up on the website. And some people, all they have to do is go into the storefront and they can order the workbook and they can get going and have a buddy to work with, and it's really fun. And we have charts and supplements to help you and things like this. Some people need to be taken by the hand, and that's why we have these 3 senior coaches right now. And you'll be able to go and see one-on-one coaching on the website. And we have a Coach Jennifer Powell, we have Coach Katie Faith Boggs, and we have Coach Sue Anderson.
Correct.
And they are all experienced. They're all have gone through this lifestyle.
They're living the
They know
lifestyle.
it in and out, and they are phenomenal.
Right.
But to get to what I've been excited about all day today is we just found out, actually I found out last night, that Coach Lisa DeGross she passed
Wow.
the second certified course. And, you know,
Congratulations.
we up our courses all the time because it's continuing education. So Lisa, oddly enough, we have known Lisa as our coaches.
Should I get her on the phone now while
Yeah.
you're introducing herself?
Yeah.
Hold on.
And we're excited to talk to her.
It's ringing.
That is definitely a Skype sound.
This is Lisa.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello?
Lisa. Can you hear us?
Hi. Yeah.
We were just talking about you. Were your ears burning?
They're bright red.
You know, it's fun to hear your voice because you've been with us for how long?
Well, I'm part of the second coaching group.
Uh-huh.
So a year.
Right
what?
after, not too long after, I believe, was it the test group?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay, so that's like 4
4 years ago.
Almost. No, 3
Yeah,
years. Right?
yeah, about 4 years or
4
so.
years
Yeah.
or so. Mhm.
So we watch you all the time because we're like eagles, you know, in the Facebook private Facebook room, and we always see some of the coaches and how they respond and reply, and we've been watching you, and we love your replies. We love your heart for these people and wanting to help them. And we knew you took the first coaching course. And then what we were just talking about was our second coaching course. So first of all, we want to congratulate you, Lisa
Congratulations.
DeGross.
Woohoo.
You passed.
Yes.
Yay!
What did you think of the course, first of all?
I loved it. I loved the course. It's simple. It's easy to understand. You don't have to have, medical background to understand any of this. You and Dr. Vicky did just a really great job on explaining why we do what we do, how to do what we do. Yeah.
Did you feel as though it gives you confidence so that when you're talking to other people, it's like, hey, I know this information?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel that I could sit down and talk with anybody about this.
Yeah, there you go.
And any questions I feel that would be raised or could be raised, I feel that I could answer them appropriately. And if by chance I can't, that I can surely get them the information.
Yes.
And what made you do this? What made you get involved, first of all, with Flesh or Fat? And then what made you want to take these coaching courses?
The reason why I got involved with Flesh or Fat is because I was over fat back in the 80s, and I lost weight the old-fashioned way by counting calories, so to speak, and fat-free this, and don't eat half a sandwich instead of whole one, type of dieting. And then when I got my fat off, I just had a really hard time with my sugar cravings and that, and so I started yo dieting for years, and I realized as I got into my 50s that I would not be able to keep living this way. And I kept my weight off by starvation and spending a couple hours a day at the gym.
Wow, that's a lot of time.
And I figured that wasn't going to last me much longer.
Right.
No, and it seems so archaic now, doesn't it? I mean, everybody goes through this. This is torturous.
And as you get older, your ligaments are not as supple and they're not as strong as they used to be. They don't recover. So to do something like that, your 50s, your 60s, you can't. You're going to have injuries.
Right. And when I was in my 40s and even my 30s, I lived this way, so it was fine, and I felt fine, I thought. But then I wasn't feeling good either. So I was like, oh man, I'm doing this. I don't feel good. What do I do?
So who introduced you?
And I was at Kathy Martz actually introduced me to this.
Oh, Kathy Martz.
coach
That's
program.
great.
She's one of our coaches.
And so you saw what this was about? Did it make sense to you? How did you go about getting started?
I started listening to the archive test group calls. And when I heard those calls, I knew that this was it. It just makes sense. It just absolutely makes sense. And it was pretty much the last stop on the block for me. I've already done other kinds of diets, and I don't believe in fake food and eating that way. So yeah, it makes sense. You've given us the rules.
Right.
It's
I like that. I like that comment.
I like the freedom you have now. At least for myself, I got freedom that I knew the rules, and I didn't have to even think about what I was eating. I just knew. I thought about what I wanted to eat and plan to eat, but I didn't have to guess. I already knew what I had to do, and it's such a freedom.
Like what Lisa just said, you have the rules. It's the blueprint.
Yeah.
We have all of those archived calls that you were listening to. We have broken them up now on our website, has over 100 edited calls for when people become the VIP members. So that's great. I'm glad you said that, because those calls are very educational. You can really learn.
Those calls are amazing. They are. I was like in awe when I was listening to them.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Well, you know, that's when
and
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
and like Dr. Vicki was just saying about the freedom,
Yes.
you know, and I was scared. I would be scared to go to potlucks and all that stuff. It's kind of like, because once I started eating, I really didn't want to quit.
Right.
And so, and I don't live like that anymore. It's just this strenuous fear about food.
Right. It was a fear. It was actually a fear.
No, that's true, because and everybody is always saying,
Food
I have to go to this.
phobia.
Well, when we start helping people, the first thing that they say is, I'm so worried I'm going on vacation.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh, yeah.
This will be 5 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, when I come back.
But it's because they don't have the rules. They don't know how to function with it. They know when they have a car, you have to put gas in it if you want to get somewhere, and you got to make sure the treads on the tires are good, and you've got to really check the oil and the filter, the water, whatever. They don't have a clue that if they go on a cruise, if they go on vacation, if they go to a party, if they just want to go out to lunch with somebody, what am I going to do? And if they
Absolutely.
But if they do it right, Lisa, then how many times have you seen people come back from vacation and they've lost 3 or 5 pounds?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, who does that? We do.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
The flushers. The flushers do it.
And are totally satisfied and happy.
Oh,
Yeah.
thrilled. We're stuffed.
That's
we eat
that's
so
the
much.
key right there too, because I'm working with a gentleman that at first he was scared to death. He goes, I don't know if I can do this. I'm a foodie. And I said, yeah, you like food. He goes, I love food. And I go, well, you're going to love this. You're going to.
Yeah, good.
And then I just got a text.
Because you're going to eat.
Yes.
I just got a text
As much
from him.
as you want.
He said, is it okay to skip a meal? Do I have to? And I said, no, you're not skipping a meal. You don't have to eat less, just eat lighter, you know? So, well, so now tell me when you took you're so knowledgeable. When we see you do your replies for these people that have questions and they're struggling or they need a little bit of help what is it that you want that you're going to do with all this knowledge? Is it just to make sure you survive on an alien planet? Is it to take care of your family and friends? Or do you see yourself going more into the health and wellness career?
What I see myself doing is going into the health and wellness career. It's something that I've always wanted to do. And this is something that has touched me. And my passion has always been fat loss, because I don't believe anyone has to suffer. I don't believe anyone has to grow old and in pain. So I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Struggle. I mean, it's people struggle till they die.
Yes, and I feel that it doesn't have to be that way. I know it doesn't have to be that way for people.
Well, that's what we're promoting. Now, what are you currently doing with your life right now? How are you surviving? What is your job or business?
How I survive right now is I am a high school and a middle school cook.
Oh,
so you see what they're eating.
I do, and it.
Oh boy, that must be hard.
You know, it is hard, and you know, you do the best you can with what you have and under the umbrella that you have to work with. but it doesn't go with my my values.
Right.
My values.
Well, what you know to be true.
For the future.
Yeah, and what you know to be true about food.
Well, and
Yes.
see, and that's isn't it interesting? God acts in mysterious ways because you're involved in cooking food for young people, and you know there's definite limits on that as far as values, and yet now you're being catapulted into a place where it's passionate because you see our youth are eating the worst ever now. It's the worst.
Yeah.
And and then we see them in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. We actually have so many obese 20-year-olds. The millennials are having issues, even having babies, because the quality of their health, they're not able to procreate well. Everything is happening. We're seeing a lot of this, but it all stems from their childhood and how they're fed. So that's probably what should be our next book.
What?
How
Children?
How to feed the children.
Well, the parents have to feed the children.
It seems to be social. It seems to be accepted that as we age or grow up, we naturally put on fat and get sick.
Right.
Why is that okay?
People
That's
are
not
accepting
okay.
it. That was like what Coach Jennifer said. She goes, I just thought this was because I'm getting older.
Well,
My
and the
God, she's
doctors
not
say
even
that.
old.
No, you brought up a great point, because the doctors say that when you're in your 50s or 60s and, I have this ache, I have this pain, I've gained this weight. The doctors just say, well, get used to it. This comes with aging.
Right.
Yes.
So,
It's like you have a disease.
And I say no.
No. I say no too.
well, you are full of piss and vinegar, as my dad used to say. Well, we're excited.
I feel very passionate about this, truly.
I think that you're amazing on helping as a coach.
You know your
I'm
stuff.
thrilled that you got your second certificate, and I
Me
think
too.
in the long run, we've just put up these 3 coaches now, these senior coaches, and we're excited to see what's going to come from that. But I can see in the future you being a senior coach for sure.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited. Yes.
I want you to send me a picture of you. We have just a little snapshot on your profile, but I was going to put that up on this podcast, but I don't really have a picture of you. So if you send it up when we replay this, we're going to have a picture of you saying, this is Lisa now. This is who you just heard from. And thank you so much for talking
Lisa.
to us. We're so impressed with you. We're so proud of you. And thank you so much for being one of our FYF4Good buddies.
And congratulations on your recertification.
Thank you.
Woo-hoo. Yeah.
No, and thank you guys for you and Dr. Vicky for all the work and dedication that you have done for us, for everyone.
Well, there's people like you that make us so happy.
And we're in this thing together. Trust me.
We are.
Yeah,
we are.
right.
We're going to get the word out, and people are going to get okay.
Yeah, baby.
Get control of your health back.
That's
for
right.
sure.
In
Okay,
some
honey.
way.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks so much. Night. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
So now, for all you guys that are listening, if you're in our private Facebook page, just go to Flush Your Fat for Good Buddies and request to get in. And also, we're going to play this podcast there, and you'll be able to see a little bit more about Lisa, because she's great. I mean,
She's
her
great.
energy is amazing.
Yeah, and she's always in the room, which I have to say we have more than 100 coaches that are in the room globally and are in the room 24/7. All you have to do is post a question or a concern or what you're confused about something, and somebody will run to the rescue and answer you right away.
So let me just say this. We have on fleshyourfatforgood.com, we have a storefront where you can purchase the workbook and charts and a shopping list, and the GLA, CLA, essential fatty acids for losing fat rapidly. But we have also starter kits, starter kit 1, 2, and 3. It's getting started as number 1 has it all together.
Yes.
Number 2 is minus the book, the paperback book. And number 3 does not have the supplements, GLA and CLA, and the book. So you choose.
Right.
We have, when you become a VIP member, that's where we have 23 videos that you can watch. And also what Lisa was talking about, which was great, what really helped her a lot was our over 100 audio clips that we have of almost 5 years of troubleshooting people. I mean, over 2,000 people that, you know, were going through the lifestyle and having all different kinds of issues. You know, everybody's body is different, but everybody's body starts with digestion, absorption, and elimination for being the most vital importance for survival. Yes. So how you feed yourself appropriately is a game changer.
We have them all hashtag too by subject and.
Yeah, we have some people that are diabetics, some people that have autoimmune, some people that
constipation.
They
diarrhea.
They don't sleep, you know, whatever. All different kinds of things that
Anything
take place,
you can think of. Yeah.
especially when they were dieting. A lot of people did all different kinds of things to lose weight. They were doing enemas, they were doing shakes, they were doing all kinds of things that threw their entire body off from functioning at a very healthy level. And you know, a lot of people, sometimes in the beginning when you're doing Flush Your Fat for Good, you're going to notice some changes. And we talk about that in the book, and we prepare you for that. So outside of the coaching course and our Power 100 call, which we're very proud of, we call this Power 100 Heroes. And these people are 100 plus pounds that they have to get off. Some are up into the 500s and you know, 300-400 pounds. But we are with you for the long haul. And every Wednesday we have a conference call that everybody is welcome, whether you have 100 or not. But this is where the paradigm shift takes place, because in order to get 100 to 300 pounds overweight, that means that there's a lot more going on than just eating too much. In fact, most of those people don't eat enough. Right,
and we do recommend that you find a buddy. If you buy our book and you feel like, hey, I want to try this, you know, I want to get going on this and really make a go of it, give it at least 4 months. Give it at least 4 months, and bring someone with you. We recommend you get a buddy, because it's so much easier and it's so much fun to have a buddy. And we've had some of our successes, ladies mostly, but they wanted to try it. They were overweight. Their husbands were pretty good, but a little bit, you know, not so much overweight. And they would make a deal with their husband. They would say, can you just do this with me for 4 months? That's it. I need you to buddy up with me.
Or 6 weeks.
Yes,
whatever.
just 2 months. 2 months 8 weeks would be good. And it really, really helps, because you know what? You have to have accountability and support, and that's our 8th pillar.
And a lot of the couples get their family involved, the kids involved then. So then it's a whole family thing of surviving on an alien planet, as we say. So look, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Lisa DeGross. We're just so happy she could join us today. And, you know, go over there and check our book out. This is great for summer reading, trust me, because if you're not ready to take the journey on of changing your lifestyle right now, at least if you're reading the book, you're going to understand what it's not a textbook. I used to call it a textbook.
It's really interesting. It's a good read. We've read it, 5 times each?
Yeah.
I didn't realize writing a book you had to read it, the whole book from cover to cover, like 5 or 6 times.
But thank you so much for joining us. Until next week, God bless.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Good night.
You're listening to Flush Your Fat for Good with Jackie and Dr. Vicky, only on LA Talk Radio.